Okay. Now that last video, that was half-assed, right? It wasn't complete. I didn't give you everything that you need to know, and I can't. But all I said was that all I told you was what you're living in, what you're living in, what some guys somewhere decided a long time ago that you would live through, and they decided that you would live in a corporation, and that you'd be a citizen, and that you'd be obliged from birth to do everything that the leader of the country says. The word country is very misleading. It's very misleading because it's not country. It's a resource management corporation. That's the most accurate term I can find for it. Any country, any country. They're all incorporated and they all have owners. Us, for example, Nigeria, we're owned by the British Queen, that lizard in Buckingham or wherever she is right now. Bloody lizard. And let's say Canada too, owned by the same Crown Corporation, just subsidiary. And then under that, subsidiary and subsidiary. You know how they do the hierarchy. They like that structure. That Jack in a box, Russian doll structure of one inside the other. And then when you come to the end of or the bottom of the rabbit hole, how the Americans call it, what do you find? Some will tell you find, okay, let's just say you find secret societies. Secret societies. We've all heard this since, let's say, since I was aware of it, 2008. It's been in the public consciousness that even mainstream, even everybody, even MTV people, secret societies, everybody knows the dollar bill, fucking Illuminati pyramid, fucking Rihanna and them all doing this thing, all that shit. Yeah, we all know that. But what do you really find down there? There are a number of groups. I'm not an expert on this, but I've taken the time to look into it. You find one big name is the Jesuits. You find a lot of so-called Jews, which are you find a lot of, let's say, Steins and Stones and you know those people, the Khazars. You find a lot of them in there. And then who else do you find? You find obviously the Freemasons, but you find them pretty early on. Everybody and their brother is a Mason. But when you want to start getting serious, you start getting into Knights of Malta, start getting into Knights of Columbus, start getting into all these brotherhoods. It's the ones you've never heard of, man. Not the ones you've heard of, it's the ones you've never heard of. So me, my mind is always open, you know. Even when I hear this Jesuits thing, I mean, they seem to have been a malevolent force, a thorn in humanity's side for hundreds of years now. But I would not be surprised if there are another 6, 5, 10, 13 layers going higher. I know the thing starts off, it really kicks off from off-planet entities. That's evident. And if you still need convincing on that, you're a child. You're a child. So maybe you should just go back to sleep. And I could not blame you, but maybe you should just go back to sleep. If you're still thinking that what has been accomplished thus far has been done only by human hands, nah, man, nah. Well, you see, now I strayed away again and I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, okay, Nigeria. So, Nigeria is, like I said, the Resource Management Corporation. Let me just give you some of the history to start with. That word Niger means, Niger, right? It's the name of the river. Okay, so let me just try and draw this in the air. Hold on, I need to balance this fucking device. You have, coming from, I think, the east, you have the Benue, goes down, and then coming from the west, you have the Niger, and then they come into a confluence and they go right down, and they empty into the Atlantic Ocean, where Delta and all those states are. They into tributaries. That Y shape that they form at the confluence is our national emblem, right? That national emblem, I'll put a picture of this maybe. This national emblem is the same company emblem that the Royal Niger Company had. If you haven't researched the Royal Niger Company, if you don't know what they are the predecessor to our government. I think they started off one guy named Goldie Taubman, some British guy, one of those conqueror boys with the big mustache, you know them, pipe smoking bastards. Well, this guy established a corporation, right? That was to, you know, deal with commerce, trade, the palm oil trade, before they moved into the black oil trade. It's just the same thing over and over again. Well, this guy started off the corporation to do trading. He basically he got it monopoly status. He took over all or joined with all the other rivals, and then they made one huge mega corporation. They were basically a monopoly, so in short, the British finally caved in, and they gave him a royal charter, which is not just an ordinary company charter. They gave him a royal charter. This means that they have a state-sanctioned monopoly over this land that they call Nigeria. Thousands of, hundreds of, dozens of different tribes and different people that just got lumped under one little paper giant, one name. They just wrote it down. Dead ink, dead black ink. And then that became so. How? By the threat of force. The threat of force brought this to pass. I'm rambling now. If it's not clear, I'll clear it up sometime. You can hit me up. I'll give you the lowdown of what I know. Well, they started off with they had commercial duties, and then when they got the royal charter, they were given administrative duties. These administrative duties were things like collecting tariffs and charging all manner of fees. I can't recall exactly the words that are used, but in short, they are fees. They are fees that the ruling entity extracts from anyone who wants to do any commercial exchange. Anytime money changes hands, they want to smell it, they want to know, and they want to have some of it. So they're going to tax you. They're going to make you pay sorry, what do you call this, royalties and duties and such things. You've read all this in your history classes, I hope. And so what do they do today? Today they're in very much the same business. They're in the business of collecting money from citizens and milking citizens. Although here we do not have such a developed tax system, but believe me, that's coming. That is coming. Crown agents and FIRS, all the state boards, all the national board, all of them, they're down. They're working hard. They're working tirelessly to get us into a kind of developed, westernized form of taxation. And so that's coming. I'll give it within 5 years. And you know this Vision 2020 agenda that they've been pushing for. And if you check that one, you see the same eye with the pyramid and what do you call it? Eye and the pyramid. But it's like we don't learn. What is man to do? What is I man to do? God damn.